Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to switch things up a bit in order for me to keep my mind clear for servicing my customer's 670ZX. And today we're doing a CD player. There are two on the bench in front of us, of course. These are both Japanese domestic model only models. They were not available anywhere else in the world. And I thought what we'd do is we'd go from the oldest to the newest and just kind of work through these things. I've got 4 total incoming. These are the 2 that are here. I had them fast-tracked. The other 2 are going to be here in maybe a couple of months, so got a bit of a wait for those 2. Anyway, the 4 that I've got are within 2 years apart of each other. The one on the bottom is from 82, or no, not 82, 84, 86, and then the other 2 are 88 and 90. Anyway, the 2 in front of us are a P-D90 and a P-D7030 limited edition. What makes the limited edition special is, well, maybe you can see under there, copper plating on the chassis. And it's also got some power supply improvements, I think. But we're not dealing with that one right now. I think we're going to start with this one. And I do have the remote for the top one. I had to buy this one separate, but it was fairly easy to buy, and I hope this remote will work for the bottom one, because it's the bottom one we're going to get into. So let me put the top one away and we'll get into the bottom one, shall we? Now, some of you will no doubt be aware that the PD70 exists. And what's special about the PD70 is it's usually considered the earliest Pioneer CD player that was ever offered in silver. However, the PD70 doesn't have any remote control capabilities. That's why they came up with the PD90 as sort of a late model replacement for the PD70. By the way, this one was available in silver as well, so I'm kind of on the lookout for one of those as well. I should mention that just after I got this one paid for, a silver PD70 showed up in the Japanese auctions, and that one went for $55, but I get the impression that's not really common for that model. So I don't know what a silver one of these is going to cost. I just know that I'm on the lookout for one. Anyway, it doesn't matter too much that this one's in black instead of silver. Kind of looks good next to the Nakamichi decks it'll be alongside of, but I was very happy to get one that had the wooden side panels as well. From what I understand, these don't often come with the wooden side panels, and I'm glad this one has it. And since we're going to be powering it on to check the operation, have a look at this gigantic line cable. It's ridiculous. I don't know how much these cost new, but clearly Pioneer wanted to show what they were capable of here. Now, before we actually power this on, I should mention I've checked underneath, and there is a label here for transport screws. And as near as I can tell, what Pioneer wants you to do is they want you to loosen this one off, which it is, and they want this one removed. That's the transport lock, and this didn't come with one of those, or with a screw in there, so I guess I don't have to worry about that. So how's about we power this up and see what happens with it? Because we do want to try and get this working in this video. CD players are really not my forte, so I don't know if I'm going to be able to get this one working, but we'll try. Okay, the display's lit up. It is cycling through all the modes properly. I should probably get some batteries in this remote, but I want to see if it ejects first. It's getting stuck. I guess we won't be doing that again until the top comes off. Well, folks, I have just discovered that there is another transport lock screw on this device. So let me just translate here. During use, loosen that way. So let's see if that makes any difference to what's going on here. I don't know if that did anything, but I guess we'll find out. According to the seller, they never tested this. So it'll be interesting to see if it's working just right out of the gate here, because I was expecting dead belts for the transport, and it clearly was trying to eject. So let's try this again. Nope, that wasn't it. All right, do I have happy success now? And before I forget, I paid $133 for this CD player. 2nd generation model. And what did I pay for the other one? $12. That is all. Oh, has this thing ever been apart before? It's acting like it has not. And here we go. I finally have access to the insides. And man, this thing's a beast. Very impressive. But I really want to figure out what's going on with the eject mechanism here, so maybe now we can get some answers. I see there's tape on this tray. I don't know why there would be. But let's see what happens when I try to eject from here. Oh, it came all the way out this time. Why? Literally only took the top cover off. What is going on here? What is this? Is that a broken piece of plastic? What is that? Yeah, that's totally what that is. Maybe I should get a CD and see if it spins up. You like Huey Lewis and the News? I'm kind of hot and cold on them, but this is one of the defining albums of my childhood, so I'm glad I finally got it. I never bought this before because, well, Huey Lewis was always overplayed where I live. Anyway, that was supposed to come with 4 as well, but the seller sent this one instead. Anyway, that's fine. I really don't like 4 very much. These are both the Japanese releases, as you can see. But, yeah, 4... I liked at least one of the tracks for a little while, Hip to Be Square, but that got old real quick, and I haven't liked it since. How about we get that tape off there? I don't know why it would be there to begin with, but I don't want anything to interfere with the operation of the CD player or the CD that's in the CD player, so off that comes. I don't know what's going on here. Anyway, let's get a CD in there and see if it spins up. We'll go with sports. Why not? It's right here. It spun. I don't know if it read the table of contents. Let's see what we can see here. Oh, it read the table of contents. Does it play? What the heck is going on with that? It is playing, but what is the deal there? That is supposed to be a level meter, I think. Okay, the receiver is online, so we'll see if we get audio out of this thing. I can't play too much of this because copyright, but whatever. It's totally playing. Track search. It totally works. What's going on here? I thought I was buying a project for this channel. I don't know what the deal was with this. Oh, you know what? I figured out why it wouldn't open. It wouldn't open because that little piece of plastic was pushing up over here, and it was hitting the top panel. That's why this couldn't move upwards. I think that's what was going on there. Okay, I found some CDRs. I have no expectations that any of these will work in this device because these have been scratched up for a long time, but we'll try this one first. This is Blanken Jones's Relax 1. It didn't even lock onto that one. I figured it would be asking a bit much of it to read that one. I'll try this one next. This one should have a little bit of an easier time being read by the player. It sort of did, but then it kicked it in reverse. But nope, we got a table of contents on this one. It's playing this one. Very interesting. I thought this was going to be more of a fight, honestly. So let's give it a real challenge now. I have a 99-minute CDR right here. This is impossible to read for most players without focus and tracking gain tweaks, but let's see what happens anyway. It still spun that one up. Yeah, 98 minutes, 34 seconds. It's reading that one. Unbelievable. I just hit play on the remote. Yeah, it's playing this disc. I can't believe it. I can't believe it's playing a 99-minute CDR. Ridiculous. Anyway, I'm going to have to figure out what is going on with that level meter here. And I don't know, I guess we need to do some basic transport maintenance, don't we? Because who knows how long it's been since this thing was last gotten into. And I really want to clean these up here. All right, I figured out the issue with the meter here. The issue was user ignorance. There you go. This toggles between binary display, which is this crap, an actual VU meter, and then off. Interesting. Does this thing even have any problems? I don't even know. I'm not too worried about this disc giving me a copyright strike. This one will not give me a copyright strike. It's too rare. And I've actually checked the grease up in here. It's good. Grease over here is good. So I don't know. Is there really anything to do at all on this? Let's try a little simple green on a paper towel and see if we can clean this up. May take the Goo Gone instead of simple green. Oh yeah, I think that was the problem, is these pads just got a little sticky, and whoever owned this last decided to go ahead and put some tape over it. Let me find my iso alcohol, because I'm making a mess everywhere now. Not really an ideal solution using any kind of tape for this, but yeah, the rubber's degrading here. Iso alcohol alone took all the stickiness off, so maybe I could even just leave it like this. I do kind of want to check the power supply capacitors as well, because they are 40-something years old. And I would at least like new caps in there. Yeah, all the stickiness is coming off these rubber pads. So I guess I will not worry about putting anything on top like the tape was. Some of it's not really coming off very well, but it'll come. Yeah, I don't know if felt's the right call either, because felt might stick up too much and then impede the use of the player. And yet we appear to have gotten all the stickiness off this. Just to be safe, it wouldn't read that, but that's okay. Yeah, nothing's transferred to the disk, so it'll probably be okay just like it is right now. All right, we are about to make a Japanese spider very unhappy, because we are about to delete his little home here. There's a spider web down in there. So if I'm correct, I think all we have to do to get the power supply board out is remove these two screws here. And out it comes. Got some old thermal grease here I'm going to want to repaste, and probably a lot more under there as well. So what do we have for capacitors here? Well, we've got two 35 volt 2000 microfarad parts. NXI series from Chemicon. I don't know what those are. But I'll tell you what, a couple of Panasonic FRs will go nicely in this thing, I think. This one here is 16 volts 3300. This one is 35 volts 1000. 35 volts 1000. I have all these, so I'm going to go ahead and replace these just to make sure the unit stays happy for many years, and then I will repaste the regulators under there as well. Just looking at the power supply board here in the schematics for the P-D90, and I'm figuring out what I want to do with capacitors right now. For all the ones that are facing the transformer, I will swap as follows, I think. If you see here, C21 and C15 are 2200s 35 volts in the P-D70 schematics. In my particular player, those are 2000 microfarads. Those are those green ones. And I think what I'm going to do there is I'm going to go up to 2700 on those two, because that's what I've got. Up over here, these 1000s at 35, I will leave those the same value, because I'm not exactly sure they do anything that important. They could, but I'm not sure about upsizing those. Up here, C2, I don't have that anymore, I don't think. I will go up to 4700 on that. It should be okay. It goes to the DC-DR board. I'm not sure exactly what that does. Anyway, it looks like there's a 12 volts coming out of this, though, for the audio board. And then more. Well, this plus and minus 15 volts will be for the audio circuits, so yeah, those come out of this section, which I am upsizing, but I don't know about this 12 volts. Anyway, I'll probably just leave those values alone and just go with what I said I was going to go with here. Status, currently reworking the power supply board, and I'm finding a lot of that really awful brown glue under here that goes corrosive and conductive. Got to remediate that if you want things to continue to be happy. So I'm going to continue working away at this and hopefully get done sometime soon. Okay, just got done reworking the power supply. There's all the fancy new parts. Got a couple of Kyocera 63 volt 47 microfarad parts in there because that's all I had in a value that was big enough to replace the originals. But on the regulator side of things, I had one of the insulators self-destruct on the way out, so I couldn't reuse it. So instead I've gone in with one of my Chinese sill pads, and I hope these are good, but I guess we'll find out. That's why I didn't do all three of these with the sill pads, because I'm not exactly sure how good these are yet. I want to see if this one gets much hotter than the other two, and if I need to come up with some other solution for this. Anyway, should be happy now. I'm going to put everything back together. Oh, by the way, I'm going to test all these first to make sure nothing's shorting out first. Then I'll put it back together. All right, I've got her playing. Haven't observed anything weird from the power supply as of yet. Heatsink is running at about 33 degrees next to the transistors. And the one on the cell pad is 36 degrees. The one above it, 32.5. And the one immediately below it, 37 degrees. And 33 degrees on the heatsink. So the cell pad is doing its job, I think. Back panel is heating up a little bit, but not too bad. I think it's going to hold up just fine, if you ask me. Love this little LED that's lit up. I don't know what that does or what that signifies, but it's cool. And I might want to replace these capacitors as well. There's they're probably going to be in the audio chain somewhere. That would make sense to me because it seems like these are special parts, these green ones. Anyway, she's playing along happily, but we do need to pull that transport and have a look at the belts because I'm sure it's going to need new belts by now. Doing a great job playing back, but I got to come back tomorrow and pull the transport and take a look at those belts. And I'm bringing you with me. All right, coming back to this on day 2. I'm not exactly sure how much work I'm going to be able to do on this today because the weather went from relatively normal temperatures to brutally hot and brutally humid within literally one day. So I am feeling absolutely miserable today. I've got no energy, I'm feeling sick, and I just don't know how much energy I've got to put into this today, but I will try because we got to get it done. And I would like to be listening to this evening, so anyway, first thing to mention is I've checked this limit switch here with the multimeter. It does need cleaning. You can get inside these things for cleaning. It's kind of a irritating procedure, but I'll show you how to do it. Probably pull this clamp off, get some oil to the spindle motor front bearing. The lens is going to be perfectly clean because otherwise this thing wouldn't play a 99-minute CDR. But I will say what I was doing this morning was a lot of cleaning. You can see that the tape residue is gone from this panel here. That came out fairly easily, but it wasn't the same story for the wooden sides. Just grab one of them here. There was a lot of sticky tape residue all over these wooden panels, and I've gotten most of it out now, so you can't really tell it was ever there now, but I had to really scrub at these panels with a combination of Goo Gone, Simple Green, and Windex in order to get these to actually clean up. And then it's the same story for the top panel. There was a big piece of tape residue here. It's still kind of there. You can kind of see the outline where my finger is, but that's the best I can do for it. All right, here we go. Why do I get the feeling that I'm heading towards a situation where the CD lens drops out of this thing? That's what Pioneers are kind of known for, but looks like we've got access to stuff right here. Here's one of the belts, obviously. I don't see any other belts. Maybe it is just the one. Trying not to scratch this too much. Yeah, this is for the pickup right here. Seems to be fairly well lubed yet. These could use cleaning and relubing. I wonder if I can do that from here. I can do the top one from here, but the bottom one's going to be a little bit of a pain to get at. Bottom one's going to be a little bit more of a hassle. I will put some iso alcohol on a Kim wipe, and we'll just go ahead and clean this. I can clean the this as well using a pipe cleaner, so I will do that. We'll use Molykote EM30L to lube. I'm actually not entirely sure that this needs to be lubed, but I'll go ahead and do it. Just a very light coating is all we need, really. Okay, so I'm going to see if I can try to get this assembly out to change the belt without pulling the entire transport. We'll see if this works. And no, it will not be possible. Transport does have to come out in order to get to that belt. All right, front panel is theoretically loose. Theoretically. I don't know why it's not coming. Oh, there it goes. And we have a broken headphone jack. Unclear how long that's been broken for. So let's have a look at this if we can. Might still be usable, but I didn't really buy this to listen to it through headphones anyway, so it is what it is. Let me get some Fader Lube F5 and we'll clean that control anyway. Might as well, we're here. I don't believe the service manual said anything about removing this particular piece here before taking the front panel off, but I guess that's probably the right way to do it. Obviously, I did not do it the right way. This channel is about me learning to being a better being tech, I guess. I don't know. The spindle motor might actually be coreless. Just kind of looking inside here to see what's going on there. That one little transport lock screw doesn't do anything. I think what the deal is this screw, the one that's supposed to remain loose, was originally the transport lock screw on the other side, because, yeah, it keeps this lever from working over here. Interesting. Anyhow, we got to get a transport out of here, so let's do that. I'm probably going to have to go looking for my nut drivers in a second, but for now we'll use the little wrench because I think that's all I can fit in here. 6mm, that's what that takes. 6mm nut driver. As I go along here, I'm kind of thinking to myself, maybe there's a way I can fix that headphone jack. I don't know. It seemed like it was really badly corroded anyway. Be nice to know that there is a replacement available, but I don't know that there is. So I think what the idea is you have to lift from the back end and sort of lift it out that way. Well, once I get this little piece off the front door here, this one, that has to come off. So I guess I'll do that now. I've got access to it from here. You can just see it right up there. There's a screw. No need to even eject the tray to do this. The weather is just unbearable today. It's absolutely crazy. All right, now the transport is connected to this board up here, so I have to get in under there and start unplugging connectors, I think. Another zip tie to get rid of. Okay, this goes to that one limit switch on the far side. Let's see what else we got here. There's a white wire that comes out of that bundle. Where does that go? Might go down to the board underneath the transport. Honestly. And all of these wires need to be disconnected. That's this connector up here. And now this one up here. So all those wires are now free, and I can sneak them through the cable holder. Just try to work them through here is what I'll do. Okay, so it's this connector that needs to be undone. Let's see, does this need to go? This one with the yellow wire. I think so. And then, not that one. Not this one. This one does. 3-pin. And we've got two more. We've got to do these two as well. Take pictures. That's all I can advise you there. And this one here appears to be for the lamp assembly. So we can leave that connected. What about this one? Yeah, that one's got to unplug too. I'll show you. It's a different type of connector than the rest. I forgot to show you what this particular CD player was packed in. They packed it in several pages of this comic. Really cool. I love it when stuff like this shows up and with extra reading material like that, because it gives me a chance to see what they're into over there. Anyway, wires have been disconnected, I think. Oh, that's another one that needs to be unplugged. It's that same type of connector as the one we just unplugged, except different colors of wires. It's this one right here. Just goes down to that connector right down there. Anyway, transport is disconnected now, at least it should be. And you might be wondering to yourself if I'm going to do any other capacitors in this particular CD player, and I think I've decided not to. My main goal was to get the power supply stabilized, and that has been done. And by the way, all of those capacitors tested good. So I don't feel any particular urge to go any further than that at this time. Maybe I'll have to later, because these were... I saw a bunch of ELNA capacitors in the rest of the device, but as long as they're not giving me any trouble right now, I think I'm inclined to just leave them. Alrighty then, it was kind of a faff to get the transport out from that particular arrangement, but as you can see, I've done it. I had to take the other side of the drawer trim off as well, but that's okay. And now we have access to this belt here, finally. Irritating that was, but just kind of trying to have a look at this to see how it is, and I think it's just 2 screws from here. And I have yet to find where that broken piece of plastic came from. It's the same type of plastic as the tray is made of, but I haven't found any part of the tray that's broken yet. Something feels spring-loaded here. Why does something feel spring-loaded? I don't know, because I can't see anything that is actually spring-loaded except for this right here. Oh wait, I see it now. It's a spring right there, in front of my face. I told you it was hot today. Okay, that just released the whole tray. So, we got access to belts now. That is moving extremely well, so I won't worry about any lubrication on it. Now, how do I get access to this belt? Well, I just have to remove this worm gear right here is what I have to do. Of course, it's got to be a little teeny tiny circlip. Anyway, I'm pretty sure my PRB cross-reference has belt dimensions for this, but I'm not sure if I'm even going to go look at them, because I can pretty much estimate what type of belt I need to put on this from here. That's assuming I can get this little circlip off without flying across the room. Which thankfully I appear to have done. So just pull the shaft through, I guess. Like so. Pull the gear out. Pull the belt out. Maybe. Come on, belt. I gotta get past this arm here. Alright, belt is not the worst thing I've ever seen, strangely enough. So what are we dealing with here? We have a about 1.5 millimeter square belt here. Internal circumference is roughly 104. All right, I think I got one that'll work here. I do have to use the 2 millimeter width belts because the PRB cross-reference is the SCB 3.8, I think, which is 96 millimeters internal circumference. So that is the closest thing I have. So what I'm going to do is, if I can find my little dental pick, which is way up there for some reason, I'm going to get some fresh moly coat right in this hole right here. We're going to use the shaft to throw some moly coat into this area here, like so, if you can see that. But I got to get the belt around here first. I guess there's no need to be real picky with these belts, because all they're doing is just running the tray mechanism. Now, can I get this to finish going through? It's keyed, so it only goes one way. All right, see if this will work. Sure seems like it will. So I can throw the old belt away now. But now I gotta put this little circlip back on. Wish me luck. I don't know how much of it I'll need, but these stupid little clips love to go flying. But I guess I have had enough practice to not worry about it. So let's get some oil in this front bearing here. I'll just use my ISO 46 compressor oil. I'll grab a little bit more moly coat and I will smear some on the gears. I don't know that it needs too many much greases here. Like I said, guys, it's hot and I'm tired and I just have no energy today. I shouldn't even be working today, honestly. But I am, so I must needs finish because I've got this out and it's sitting right here and I have to get it back in the main body of the unit. You'll notice I'm winding the screws back to grab the threads. It's always a good practice, even though it's more critical that you do that for plastic threads than metal, but still, I like to be safe. Okay, that is working. I should really get into these micro switches now because there's one right in my face here. The question is, how am I going to get to that switch to clean it? But hey, at least the laser lens hasn't fallen out yet. Because that's a thing all pioneers love to do, is drop the laser lens, and at least one of my other two CD players has that issue. Okay, let's get rid of this zip tie so I can see what I'm doing. Need those wires freed up anyway in order to free up enough slack in these wires to do this. Just barely managed to get in there for that. Okay, now when it comes to these limit switches, you want to be careful getting inside of them because there are springs in there. But the way I kind of do this is by cutting these little pegs here, then prying the little metal piece off. And when you go to reattach this metal plate, usually what I do is I use the soldering iron to melt the plastic, and that usually does the trick. So how easy is this one going to be to get into? Not difficult at all, it would seem. He said as the spring tried to go flying. Just trying to get my thumb in there or thumbnail in there to try and hold that spring in place. And there's the internal switch body right there, if you can see that. Well, the procedure here is to gently take this apart. And now we've got access to this, and look how dirty that is. That's why this has to be done. And I will be treating this as well using this stuff. Yeah, I'm kind of surprised that this thing worked the way that looks. So let me just fix this up off camera and I'll be back with you. All right, that is one limit switch done. Shall we measure and see if it's any good? I'm not expecting any problems because I treated it with the special stuff that has the dielectric grease in it, but we'll just check anyway. Okay. 0 ohms. Perfect. Well, it was perfect till my probe slipped off the terminal. So as long as I didn't put my switch together backwards, and I don't think I did, this one's good to go. I've got 2 more to do now. Just like that. A little bit time consuming, but I have found that when it comes to these Japanese imports, there's really nothing better than just getting inside the whole thing and just fixing it up right. So that's what I'm doing, is fixing it up right, or trying to. And you can see just where I used the soldering iron to melt the switch back together. I don't think that's going to be a problem. But you really have to watch out for the little springs that are inside there, because this one did escape on me, even without the camera rolling in my face at the time. Okay, transport topside is coming up. I've got 2 more limit switches to do, like the ones I just showed you, this one and this one. And I think that's about it for those, but I want to take this clamp off if I can. And hopefully get in under the thing so I can get some oil to that one motor bearing that I was talking about getting to. It's wanting to spring loose on me is what it's doing. Okay, that's not too hard to deal with. So, can I get access to that motor bearing now? Yeah, it's going to be tricky, I'll tell you what. But I think I can possibly do it. That's really all I have to do, or to show you right now. I've got my syringe full of the oil in it. So what I will do is I will try to just sneak it in there. Hopefully without breaking my syringe in the process. All right, maybe now I can do this. Trying not to damage anything, including the pickup. All right, I think I got it. So I gotta wind the tray back in now and put that clamp back on, but while I'm at it, why don't I do just a little bit of a clean on the laser lens. I'm gonna use glass cleaner for this. No really strong alcohol. And that'll do it right there, I think. And that should be good for that. So I gotta wind the tray back in and put that clamp back on. Give me a moment. All right, at this point, all of the limit switches have been done. I haven't checked the last one yet, but we can do that on camera once more and see how it is. Can you see that? I hope so. All right. Yeah, 0 ohms. Perfect. Now at this time, I am realizing that I haven't done that one rail yet for the pickup. So I have to take this clamp back off again and release that one screw, and then I can get that one out for cleaning. I'll do that off camera. No sense putting you guys through that. All right, so before I put this back together, I thought I'd take a look at the headphone jack to see if maybe there's a way I can super glue it or something to get it to go back together, and I don't think there's any hope for this. It's just crumbling apart and it's all corroded anyway, so I don't think I'm going to be able to do anything for this, so I'm going to have to leave this piece out and the big nut that was on it out and just put it back together the way it is, because there's nothing I can do for this. It's just so corroded inside that there's no point even trying to save it, so I'm going to have to look for a replacement for this in order to do anything for this. Alright, I have this back together well enough to do a test. I haven't gotten everything buttoned down and put away yet, but I did get at least one zip tie back in. Anyway, I need to see exactly how well this works before I actually finish putting it back together, because I might have to get back into the transport. So let's fire up. Okay, it's working no differently than before. That is one nice sounding tray motor now. It's much quieter than it was. This is good. We like that. I forgot to oil the front bearing in the pickup drive motor, but I'm not getting back in there. I'm sorry, I'm not. Well, not unless I have to. Okay, does it play? Sure does. So I think I am successfully serviced one of these. I know my words ain't wording right, but like I said, it's extremely hot today. You are just going to have to excuse me on that front. All right, back together and looking good with the exception of this little piece here. I gotta find a new headphone jack for this, because this thing looks too nice to leave it like this. I think I misaligned my wooden panel on this side, but oh well, I can fix that in a jiffy real quick. But first we have to put the trim pieces back on the tray, and to do that it has to be able to open and close. So can it do that now? You betcha it can. That was the only problem. I am happy about that. So I'm going to put these on real quick, and we'll try to get some music out of her again. Okay, there we go. Test receiver going hot again. And we're going to go back with Huey Lewis in the News, because why not? It's here. And let me see, where's that remote? I don't know if I can select tracks with the remote or not, but we do need the disc in first, don't we? Yeah, I don't know if I can actually select any tracks on the remote. I'm going to say no. And there you have it. It is working. One Pioneer P-D90 up and running, and probably about the same it was before, but at least I got a lot of work done here, because those limit switches were really bad. Anyway, it's working. I'm happy. And I should mention that everything I've done to this player also goes for the P-D90 as well. It's the same basic CD transport, just minor differences in the circuitry. Like I noticed the power supply was a little bit different, and there's obviously the IR remote on this one. Anyhow, I think this one's done. Oh, I wanted to do a little more talking about these 99-minute CDRs. These are still available, believe it or not. They are now classified as 100-minute CDRs because might as well. I found several of them at Amazon, but that's the only place I found them at. And they are very expensive, just like they were back in the day. I think me and my friend, we had to go halvesies on them. And basically it was a cake box of 50 for 90 bucks, I think. That was back in the late 90s we bought these things. You have to have an actual CDR drive that will write to those as well for the full 99 minutes. Like, I had to go out and specifically hunt down an actual CDR drive that would work with these. It's an old Light-On drive. I don't know if I have it anymore. I probably don't, but I'm not really doing too much with these 99 minutes anyway. I'm going to start this one playing, and I'm going to see if it can actually track maybe track 20 or so. If it can do that, then this thing is amazing. It's playing it without any tracking gain adjustments. It's playing it. That's usually the first thing I had to do when it came to these 99-minute CDRs, is if I wanted to play them in the car, I had to tweak the tracking gain in order to get them to seek to different tracks, those car stereos. So that the fact that this thing is tracking all the way to track 20 on a 99-minute CDR is very impressive to me. So I'm very happy with the CD player. I just gotta find this headphone jack for it. Anyway, I think probably what we're doing next week is the other CD player, because I still need to do some easy videos that I can just put up on the channel so I have the time I need to finish doing my customer's 670ZX. So I will see you guys in the next video. Take care.